From the Knicks declining a buyout option for him to the addition of another great story to his fantastic career, Derrick Rose is rumored to be on his way to Chicago once again. And it's all because the New York Knicks are expected to decline the team option on his contract. Hardly a surprise in that development, if I'm being honest. As much as the fans love having Rose around, fact is, he's not even close to the player he was prior to that injury. The Knicks thought he'd be a decent player to have in the rotation, and to be fair, he showed a bit of his quality throughout the couple of seasons he spent in New York. But with the Knicks having much higher expectations with their promising core, it's not shocking that they're considering moving on from the former MVP. They still hold all the cards in terms of Rose's future, and have the option of accepting the $15.5 million deal to keep him for the 2023-24 season. But after Tom Thibodeau removed Rose from the rotation, it just doesn't seem likely that they'll go down this route. Should the option get declined, Rose will become a free agent in summer of 2023, and that means quite a few teams will have him on their radar, as many have been monitoring his situation. That just goes to show how much Rose is respected among the NBA franchises. Even after being past his roaring best, there are many franchises willing to put a deal out for him. Of course, any mention of Rose in the free agency is almost always followed by one suitor for sure. And as you'd expect, the Bulls are leading the race for his signature in free agency. He's not even officially a free agent, yet the Bulls have made it abundantly clear that they'll battle with any franchise to ensure Rose becomes a Bull for the 2023-24 season. Similar to the Knicks declining the possibility of keeping Rose around, this is more reliable than your average rumors. I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago do make a move and get Rose in as soon as he enters free agency, because some deals need that touch of sentimentality as much as they need logic. I'm not saying it's illogical to sign D. Rose, but to say that there wouldn't be better options out there would be quite wrong too. For that kind of money, north of $10 million per year apparently, Rose wouldn't be bringing the same level of quality that Chicago could potentially find in someone else. Not to mention they could get a promising youngster with a higher ceiling, and considering Rose's age, this would be a smarter route to opt for. Yet that sentimentality factor is an important one and can't be overlooked. A young player could end up doing wonders for the Bulls, but in the immediate present, the franchise needs a win with all that's been going on. So it's not a surprise that the front office is seriously considering a move for Rose. Think about it for a minute. The Bulls are easily the worst team to support in 2023. All the teams that finish bottom or near the end of their respective conferences have a lot to look forward to in the summer, given the 2023 NBA draft, and with ample cap space to make exciting trades. The ones stuck in the mid-table also are either reaching the good part of their rebuild or are approaching one. As far as Chicago are concerned, things couldn't be worse. No one knows if Lonzo Ball will ever play an NBA game again. The front office messed up big time during the 2022-23 season, and with a couple of big name departures expected over the summer, the Bulls can't be excited about anything for the season. So, it's not a reach to expect the management to complete a deal for Rose. And while there's a huge possibility he won't ever reach the heights he once did for the Bulls.
You just started. Rose jets in and puts the ball by. What a move by Rose.
Nostalgia could help the franchise unite in a time of crisis. Regardless of what fans think about Rose, he's the biggest name in their history after the class of the 90s, and having him back would definitely bring about much needed positivity. Plus, he might not be at his best, but the Bulls need a point guard desperately. No, I'm not suggesting that Rose could solve their issues as a starter, but just because he wasn't a part of the Knicks rotation does not mean he can't be a part of the rotation in Chicago. In fact, he'd be a great option to come off the bench and get points with the second unit. He could also help save the funds that could go elsewhere. And there are other positions that need reinforcements just as badly as the point guard position. It's still not confirmed what the Bulls want to do with the Lonzo Ball situation, but if they're still confused about how to approach it and have faith that he could potentially make a return, then a deal for Rose makes even more sense. They don't even need to offer a long-term contract to Derrick. A shorter commitment is enough to bring positivity to Chicago, and if it works out, another contract can be handed out easily. I'm not someone big on nostalgia, but the version of Rose even after that injury looked pretty good in the Bulls jersey. Maybe, just maybe, if he was to receive the same love from the Bulls faithful that he once did, Chicago could get something major out of him toward the end of his career. A final hurrah?
What a move by Rose. Oh! Yes, and it counts over Joel.
It didn't work out for Michael Jordan in Washington. It hasn't worked out for many other stars, but Rose has been an anomaly throughout his career. The youngest player to win the MVP, a player with handles gifted by the gods. Of course, he doesn't have the same movement due to his injury, but Rose claims to be improving even now. He added how absurd that sounds for a player to be improving at 34 years of age, but it wouldn't be impossible to picture that. Chicago fans know how to get behind their star players, and if they play their cards right, we could see Rose reigniting his career.
Here's Rose. Rose with an up fake. Attacks inside all the way to the basket and scoops it home.
I did say I'm not too big on nostalgia, but players tend to play better when they're more comfortable. Rose has mentioned how he killed his ego a long time ago, and I can't help but wonder if that's what changed his career trajectory too. Adrenaline can get the most out of just about anyone, and if there's one thing everyone can agree on, it's that talent never goes away. It'd be wild, but a fitting end to what was a special career. Plus, can you imagine what kind of impact it'd have on this Bulls team? Oh boy. This is a deal that could be a success even if Rose doesn't do anything extraordinary, and the upside is clearly there. Look, it's not hard being a good player in this Bulls team. Even Patrick Beverley ended up contributing a little bit since his arrival from the Lakers.
On him. Oh. Cross court, Beverley hits a three.
All Rose needs to do is stick up in the rotation and get a bucket or two. He'll have the backing of a crowd, and if he doesn't shy away from making those big shots, he's going to have plenty of good days in Chicago. The Bulls will need to make some solid signings and would also require their star players like Zach LaVine to step up in the upcoming season. It might even be a smart idea to trade DeMar DeRozan and get in some more help on the offense. Alex Caruso needs to be retained at all costs, and Derrick Rose has the ability to get this squad motivated. The ceiling isn't too high for this roster, and all they can aim for, in the short term at least, are consistent playoff finishes. That said, the East is getting stronger by the minute, and it won't be easy nailing down one of those spots, but Rose has it in him to lead this roster to a playoff spot, giving the fans something to cheer about on his return. Plus, it'll be a great story for Rose's career too. I know, you can just hear his return with "I'm Coming Home" playing in the background. Who could possibly forget the fantastic days Rose enjoyed in this very arena? That MVP year was absolutely unreal. His potential pre-injury looked scary, and to this day, I firmly believe that the Bulls would have made at least the finals had he stayed fit that season. They were by far the best team in the East, man. Then you've got to remember that buzzer beater winner against LeBron's Cavaliers. The roof was off in Chicago. It didn't matter that the Bulls got eventually knocked out. Most people remember the winner like it was yesterday. At the end of the day, it's all about making memories and giving the fans something to cheer about. So from the addition of another great story for Rose's career to the Knicks declining a buyout option for him, this was all you needed to know about Rose's rumored reunion with the Chicago Bulls.